Hi folks, it's Coach Kelvin here from the We Run Virtual Run Club, and we run coach for Leeds and surrounding areas as well as online coaching. We've had a few questions about trail shoes, and I thought I'd do a super quick video that gives some sort of ideas on what to look for when you're choosing a trail shoe. And the first kind of couple of things to think about is what sort of terrain are you going to be going on? You know, is it up in the mountains and it's off the paths, or is it a gravelly canal towpath? So we need to sort of decide how much grip that shoe has. Then the sort of height of the shoe, so the stack height. So if we're up in the fells and we're off the trails, we want something that's very low and close to the ground for stability. If we're on the gravelly canal towpath, we might have something that's almost like a road shoe, that's just got a little bit more grip. So I'm really quickly going to talk you through sort of 4 different shoes so that you can see the differences between those. So the first shoe is actually the North Face Eminus, which is basically a road shoe with a bit of grip on the bottom. So what I'll use that is if I'm just going to go for a run on the canal or super easy trails, and I don't want to wear out my sort of more expensive trail shoes, I'll just kind of stick on that shoe. And you can see it's got quite a high stack. It's quite a lot of foam in there, and it's not very sort of aggressive in the grip on the bottom. Then the next one is something like that's the Saucony Exodus Ultra. So it's still got quite a lot of foam in it for sort of longer distance, general purpose use as a trail shoe. It's a little bit more aggressive in the sort of lugs on the bottom. This one now has nearly 500 miles on it, so it's quite well worn out. But you know, it's got quite a lot of grip, so it can be used as a general purpose trail shoe, and you know, even sort of on the fells, as long as we're staying on the main paths and trails, and we're not venturing actually off the paths. The next one is I've got to use the Hoka Zinal 2 is my sort of race shoe. It's much lower profile, much closer to the ground to give me more stability. It's still got a really good tread pattern on it, even though it's not super aggressive, more for sort of drier, gravelly trails. And it's also exceptionally lightweight for sort of racing, about sort of 210 grams, I think that shoe is. And then the other one is an Inov8 X-Talon 255, which is my fell shoe. So this is the one that I use if I'm going to go up to the Lake District, maybe practice some navigation. So I'm actually going to go like off the paths, and it's got very little cushioning. It's very low to the ground to give me lots of stability, and also very flexible to give me lots of sort of feel of the ground. And the lugs are quite small and quite spiky to sort of pierce right down into the ground. And if we compare the amount of cushioning against, if we put the sort of Eminus back, or let's even put them kind of face to face like that, you can see that the North Face shoe has loads more stack height, loads more cushioning, and the Inov8's much closer to the ground. So it's about deciding what sort of surfaces you're going to be running on. Then it's working out how much grip you need. Is it going to be sort of gravelly trails, or is it going to be muddy? And then how much stability you need. So how high the stack height is the shoe in the shoe. So how much cushioning you've got. And then I guess the other thing is to bear in mind what sort of distances you're going to be running in that shoe. So even if I'm quite, you know, it's quite kind of rough terrain, I might still wear the Exodus Ultra over the X-Talon 255 if I'm going to be out for something, you know, like 4 or 5 hours or even longer in an event. So I hope that makes some sort of sense. If you've got any questions on trail shoes, please pop them in the comments below. And for now, happy running.